Hello everyone. This is a very special podcast for every business owners and entrepreneurs. Many business owners and entrepreneurs want to adapt AI in their business, but they don't know how to adapt AI in their business. But this video will going to answer all your questions. If you want to upgrade your business, do watch this video fully. Welcome to DigiDARA Podcast. I am your host Janani, and today I am with Mr. Sendil Raja Martandan, who had a 28 years of IT experience and founder and managing director of DigiDARA Technologies. A warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's start with something that every business owner feels but never really talks about, sir.
Okay.
What is your business silently losing every single day, and why is that calling at the hidden cost?
Okay, that's a great question to start, right? So, business losing every single day is a big problem to many business as well as to the entrepreneurs. So, traditional way of operating business is something most of our current business stakeholders are doing it. Now we are living in AI era. So, living in AI era means how well actually we can adopt AI into day-to-day basis is something that what every business stakeholders has to look into that. Let's take some sample scenarios, right? There are some 50 calls coming to one particular business. Let's say that a business is cake shop. The cake shop probably getting a lot of calls in a given day, and that calls actually not responded by the individual whoever is appointed for the cake shop, not responded for all the 50 calls. So probably some calls are getting missed. So that's more of missing leads. Missing leads means missing customers. The next one is there are some manual work is also happening as part of this whole process. Some routine task can be automated. And the other one is, if you look at it data perspective, there are data is completely getting missed out as well. So who's going to buy our product? Who's not going to buy products? These are all some stats we need to take it. So these whole things actually if you look at it from business perspective, if they are not properly looking at who's actually purchasing it, or not responding to their all the queries, right? That is also losing customer, and as well as routine task is wasting our effort, and data if not properly used, that is also leading to loss in business actually. So this is something is happening in every business at this point of time. That's where AI is stepping into see how this can be automated wherever it is possible.
Sir, is there any way to find the customer before the customer approach our business? Is that really possible, sir?
Of course, it is possible. So if you ask the same question 5 years before, I probably would have said slightly I said no or yes or something like that. But I can confidently now say that it is very much possible with the help of AI. So let's take a scenario, right? So earlier I was talking about cake shop and getting a new customers, right? So what happens, just to get all the customer data into their database. So how they can actually reach out to the cake shop on a day-to-day basis. So there are multiple ways of doing it actually. So there, from the AI perspective, let's say we have a website for the cake shop, right? So how many people are visiting our website? How many people are ordering through our websites? Will you be able to track it right now? If I ask that question, maybe we cannot without proper tools we cannot track it actually. Okay, so that's where AI is stepping in. So we can have something called AI chatbot. Okay, AI chatbot can be integrated into our website. And there is other way of looking at it. Just see which customer is coming in, right? So let's say there is a person coming from one company and visiting our website. That is also possible to look at it actually. So there's a software name called Apollo.io, and there's something called Lead Feeder, and these are all softwares can help you to track who's coming in and what is the intent behind actually. So there are many ways of doing it, and this is one way of identifying the customer's interest and see how they can be reached on behalf of, right? So the question what you ask, is there a way to find customers before they approach us, right? So customers can come into our websites, or our customer can come into our shops, or customer can talk to us over the phone. These are the possible way of doing it. But how we can reach out to them frequently is something also matters, because customers should not forget, like, after getting the service from us. So we need to remind them. That's where the AI automation stepping in, like, WhatsApp automation, email automations. There's something called email automations, like MailChimp, or like, there are different softwares that are available. Through that, actually, you can do the email automations, sending out, like, let's say birthday wishes, or like, inviting them for some trying out some new flavor of cakes. So these things can be, like, possible doing some continuous reminders. So that is something is very important, like in today's business. If we don't keep our business in customers mind, then customer easily will forget, like, move on to the next customers actually. So that's the interesting game that is happening right now. So the next 5 years going to be very, very crucial, like, who's actually coming forward and adapting AI into the day-to-day business will be staying ahead in the game. Who's delaying in this situations, definitely they'll have a fallback, and they will be behind the whole progress actually. So you decide actually, like, where you want to be and how you want to scale your business with all the automations.
Sir, we hear terms like cold leads, warm leads, and hot leads nowadays. Usually, these kinds of leads classifications are done by humans, sir. But how AI can do this from here? Can you explain this, sir?
Sure, definitely. This is very interesting question, as well as I think we are stepping into, like, more into automation now. So I'll just talk about from DigiDARA perspective. So DigiDARA, actually, we have developed something called lead automation platform. Okay, so we involved AI into that. How that platform works, I will explain that. Let's say I'm just taking the same example, like cake shop example. So there's a Christmas coming up next week, and there's a lot of plum cakes orders are coming from online as well as offline. There's a lot of things are coming up. So we need to really see which are all, like, truly true buyers, which are all, like, slightly, like, interested but not true buyers, but other people are, like, door shoppers, like, just coming and going. So we need to understand that. Based on that only we can improve our production or increase our production as well, right? So that we can have a seamless transaction with the customers. So in this case, we need to really classify hot customers, warm customers, and as well as cold customers. So let's take this scenario, like, there's a guy coming into a website ordering cake. So there actually we have a AI chatbot, and in the AI chatbot we actually ask all the details along with the numbers and everything. So what happens, it actually comes into the CRM. We have all the leads added into this. There's come something called WhatsApp AI automations. Through WhatsApp also, like, they can connect, the customers can be connected through WhatsApp, and from there actually, like, you get the lead details. That lead details also getting stored in the CRM, and there's a reference coming from, like, friends or families, so they are calling directly to the cake shop. So that leads are also getting stored manually. You have to enter in the CRM. So now the CRM is having all kind of leads. So based on the interactions with the leads, the details are getting stored in the CRM. Now AI is stepping in, doing the scoring, lead scoring. The lead scoring is basically, like, based on the interactions, like, the website visits, like, the discussions on the AI chatbot, and discussions over the phone calls. So based on the conversation and everything, AI will say that, okay, I'm giving the out of 10, 8 for this lead. The other person actually visited website, but asked some details, but not asked for the price, then left. That person comes under cold category. So that person probably will get an AI lead scoring maybe around 6 or 7. The other person visited, he is a cold lead. He has just come in, just looked at all this details, like, asked one question and left. He is not interested to look at anything else. So that person lead scoring probably around 3 or 4. So these, all those things will be added into the CRM, and from there the automation picks up. If it is a hot leads, immediately WhatsApp automation will pick up and sending a WhatsApp message directly to that person. Hi, thank you for contacting us. Like, okay, you are more interested in this particular plum cake, and this is the price of this. Like, if you buy this, there's a 50% off. So would you like to purchase this? Like, this is the link to, like, click on that. So this all, like, will be immediately sending it to them. If the person has given email, that email also will be going. That AI automation. Here there is no manual person is coming into play. So this whole classification of hot, warm, and lead is based on the lead scoring. AI lead scoring will be done and assigned all the details in the backend. based on the lead scoring, the automation will pick up, either WhatsApp automation or the email automation will get picked up and sending an email to the concerned stakeholders. Of course, we cannot ignore the warm leads and as well as cold leads as well. For them also, like, we need to send a message, but not immediately. The priority is hot customers. So we need to immediately reach and bring them into the customer list. The warm leads and cold leads also, we need to send customized cold messages, warm messages to the leads. So this is the way AI is actually completely classifying them based on the interactions and then sending out personalized message to the customers.
It's interesting to hear this, and I have one follow-up question to you, sir. Is there any possibilities to send 500 plus customized messages through WhatsApp and emails to the customers through AI?
Absolutely, absolutely. This is actually interesting question to add, because personally, I mean, human beings sending customized messages through WhatsApp and as well as to email, it's something. It is possible. It's not. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but it takes time. It takes time, and we need to dedicate one person to work on this, do the follow-up message, because every lead is very important. If we are getting some 10 customers through websites or phone calls or anything, every lead is very important. We never know which lead is going to get converted actually. So we cannot treat one person lightly, other person with a wholehearted welcome and all. So it's more of give equal importance to all the leads. So that means we need to have a customized message for hot customers, customized message for cold customers, customized message for the warm customers. But if you are assigning one person into this and doing this task, it takes a longer time to complete this. That's where AI powered CRM and LLM coming into play. So DigiDARA, actually we built an CRM actually where it helps customized messages, sending it to all the key stakeholders. So we are using LLM and as well as the techniques of AI to customize messages for WhatsApp as well as to email as well. So this is possible with the AI powered LLM and AI powered CRM. This is very much possible at this point of time to send customized message. But for that, we need to have a required permissions and the support, everything that we need to have to send messages. So, but yeah, in summary, it is possible.
Sir, nowadays many business peoples and entrepreneurs using ChatGPT and Gemini is like they are adapting AI.
Correct.
But in reality, it is not.
Absolutely.
So what are the AI tools and processes should they adapt in their business for their automation, sir?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to explain in detail now, typically how the business should automate this AI process. So what happens in the whole journey, right? So as you rightly said, using some AI tools, ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude and Perplexity, and any other Canva, in any other tools, people thinking that adapting those tools, I'm adapting AI. In reality, it is not. Okay. So like you said, so let's step into the process. What happens when the leads coming into that, when there is a lead coming in, either through websites or chatbot or manual leads or through WhatsApp or some references, anyway, the leads are coming in. Once leads coming in, then last questions that we talked about AI lead scoring. Then the lead scoring is coming into play. So based on the interactions, the website visits, everything interactions, it completely classify them and scoring is given to them. That's where hot, warm, cold and all we talked about. And next, once that is classification is done, then next process is to see, should I send an email? I mean, the AI is going to send an email or should send WhatsApp. So that is also, it's very important actually, based on the classifications, and the AI is going to look at the options should I send an email or should I send a WhatsApp? And once it is done, then CRM, that's where the CRM, all the leads informations are getting stored. The CRM tracks each and every information. How many WhatsApp messages have gone? How many emails have gone to the particular lead? What kind of response that the leads have responded? So all those details are completely being captured. So the lead CRMs are captured, and from there it decides, okay, whether it is converted or not converted. Finally you will have the status. So you'll have the analytics dashboard, the CRM, to see how this whole process is done, from leads to customers, what and all process is done. This whole thing is completely can be automated with the multiple tools and process here. It is not like, as I said, like no, ChatGPT, Gemini alone cannot do this entire things. So we need to involve multiple tools from here to here. So what are the tools to be involved? So probably we can have a separate discussion on that, but this is the process to do the automations completely for any business.
Let's talk about failure for a moment. What are the biggest mistakes businesses make when they try to bring AI in their business?
I won't say a very interesting question, but it's something like every business owner should understand this. Last 1.5 years, I've been doing business in Tier 2 city, Tiruchirappalli. Here, the major challenge that I am facing right now, real challenge, many business stakeholders wants to adapt AI, but they don't know how to. Okay, and they have the fear of that, like adapting AI will actually involve a lot of investment and everything. Okay, let me tell you, there are people actually adapted AI, but not properly using as well. So the two different cases I'm talking about. One is having still fear adopting AI. The other one is the fear is coming primarily because if I adopt AI and there will be huge investment, and employee perspective, they may think that is something like losing a job as well. But the other side, if you look at the biggest mistake the business stakeholders or entrepreneurs face when they try to use AI, they don't maintain the data properly. As I said, previously, the system that what you're setting it up, you need to have a AI powered CRM. You should have WhatsApp automations. You should have email automations. You should have complete the data should be maintained properly. So whenever you need some data, that has to be captured, and as well as predicted way of looking at it as well. So these are all something can be, it's all interconnected, but this is what it is. So if you don't have a proper data maintenance, and if you don't understand what problem that you are going to solve using AI, that is also biggest problem. So you should have a clear strategy and the problem that which you are going to address that. It's something okay, everyone is saying I'm also using AI. If you go in that direction, obviously what happens, you'll be investing money, but it's not going to solve your problem. It's not going to scale the business as well. So anyone is using AI in the coming days, you have to have a clear strategy, and you should have a clear problem statement where exactly AI is going to come in and to solve the problem. So if that plan and problem solving and strategic thinking, if that is not there, then that AI implementation is going to fail.
This is very important question, sir. For every business owner who is going to adapt AI in their business, what kind of investment they are required, and how soon they expect the return on investment from their business, sir?
Absolutely. As you rightly said, this is very important questions for every business owners to think about, what kind of investment I should make. Right. So as I said, in the previous discussions, all the discussion I talked about, setting up an exclusive CRM, AI-powered CRM is something every business should do that, because that's where you are maintaining all leads. Anytime that you want to look at your customer data, that you can definitely have this in the CRM. So that AI-powered CRM has to be implemented. So every business has different kind of requirements. So you can go for whichever market players you can do that. Or if you want customized CRM, that's something there are AI players can do that. From DigiDARA perspective, we do have a DigiDARA AI powered CRM, actually something we build it, and we are customizing it for every business as well. So this, many players are there in the industry, they can help that. And if anyone wants to leverage DigiDARA CRM, that they can very well come reach out to us to adapt to this. The second thing is the lot of tools and process that I talked about. That's something also do the investments. So the tools which are all the tools that the AI tools that we need to use. There are 1,000 plus or 10,000 plus AI tools are in the market. So which tools required for our business is something that has to be also purchased. And setting up an environment, nowadays GPU based infrastructure is very important for any business. So we need to have the infrastructure setup. The cloud setup is also important. So these are the things where we need to do that. And LLM, more importantly, purchasing an LLM for our day-to-day interactions, so prompt based executions, right? So we need to have a LLM as well as customized LLM or API based LLM, open source LLM that can also be integrated. So these are all investment comes into play when it wants to adapt AI. And return of investment, something like no, you cannot expect like no in a 6 months or 8 months time frame. So obviously you have to really put in process and maintain the process and see how it is working. And minimum that takes 3 months to 6 months, or sometimes even takes a year. But patiently you need to wait. So you cannot expect, okay, now I implemented WhatsApp automation, I implemented CRM is implemented, and I've done all those like end-to-end AI lead automation process. Okay, I should see the outcome from tomorrow onwards. Means definitely not. Patiently wait. I'll just take one example. Like one of the business meet I went recently. I happened to meet one doctor. So the doctor was asking, my hospital is in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and if I adapt like all those AI platforms or like no AI powered websites, so is that something like no the people will start using it? And don't you think like no doing this investment is may not make sense at this point of time? This is the question that she was asking. I told only one thing. I told is like no, do you want to be a follower or do you want to be a pioneer in this industry? If you want to be a pioneer, you have to adapt yourself immediately, and then set as an example for your peers and as well as like others to follow you. Or if you want to follow someone like no, after adapting everything, okay, I also want to adapt, then it's in your choice. So that's what it is. Like no return of investment and also initial investment is something, everything like no has to be done in a sequenced manner. But it's like anything in the previous time also, like you would have done similar kind of no investment the same way. You have to plan it such a way. And of course future, you look at from the futuristic standpoint and do the implementations. So that's a way to do it actually.
All right, final question, sir. If someone listening to this wants to adapt AI in their business, what is the first step they really start with?
Sure. They need to fix lead response system. Okay, that's very important. If you start fixing that first action item through AI process and tools, that whatever I talked about throughout this video, that's the first step that you should do that. And that's probably will take like no 2 to 3 months for you to like no fix that one. So the again I'm repeating, you should have a customized CRM and customized AI tools and process. That something is like no, we have to focus in each and every business. So fixing that lead response systems definitely will scale your business as well as bringing more leads to your business as well. So I would strongly suggest business stakeholders and entrepreneurs to like fix this one to start with, and then follow the rest of the process. So as I said, I'm repeating again, DigiDARA is something has built this whole lead automation platform and also implemented for a couple of customers, and this is really working. So we do have like customized CRM as well as like a chatbot integrations and WhatsApp AI automations, and whatever I talked about the classification of leads, like hot, warm, and cold, like all those things, like the platform is supporting. And then email follow-ups and WhatsApp follow-ups, that is also integrated. And now also we are working on like integrating voice assistant as well. That is also like some of the customers are really looking for voice assistants, because not only do the email and WhatsApp, the voice also like should reach out to the customers with our customized messages and everything. So that is also we are working on that. So if anyone wants to like leverage this platform for your business, just drop a note and comment and like and reach out to I will give the phone numbers and everything, so you can definitely reach out to us for your implementations. So yeah, that's the summary of the whole thing. Anything else to ask?
Thank you, sir. You have provided lots of inputs to business people and entrepreneurs. Hope this will definitely help business people and entrepreneurs to start their business with the adoption of AI. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So the intention behind this to having this podcast is to see how soon setting up this AI automation for the business in the coming days is what like business people should think about it. And it's a need of the hour. And so wish you all the best in this whole AI transformation. And do reach out to us like if you want like similar solutions to implement it for your business. Thank you for watching.